Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, happy Friday. First of all, we'll start there. And now we've got some bummer news for anybody who's looking to do any traveling by air over the next, maybe several days, maybe next few weeks. All comes back again to the government shutdown. But we have had word that the flight cancellations and flight disruptions have started to impact eastern North Carolina's regional airports. The Federal Aviation Administration has ordered a reduction in air traffic at 40 airports across several states. One major airport that will see disruptions is Charlotte Douglas International Airport, the hub for many regional airports in eastern Carolina. As of this morning, a flight scheduled to depart 10:15 from Coastal Carolina Regional Airport to Charlotte was canceled. A flight set to land at Coastal Carolina just before 10 a.m. from Charlotte was also canceled. At Albert J. Ellis Airport in Jacksonville, a Delta flight heading to Atlanta, slated for 11:53 a.m., will not take flight. A flight scheduled to arrive at OAJ at 11:13 a.m. from Atlanta was also canceled. Currently, there are no flight cancellations reported at Pitt Greenville Airport. We will continue to update this story as we learn about more cancellations or flight disruptions. And sticking on that theme, we now turn to NBC's Maggie Vespa, who has more on the outlook across the country as far as those flight cancellations go and the disruptions being caused by the government shutdown.
This morning, the record-setting dysfunction on Capitol Hill causing new layers of chaos at airports across the country. The nation's 4 largest airlines already canceling hundreds of flights across 40 airports in high-traffic areas. Passengers furious.
I think the government's playing with people's lives.
Very overwhelming. It's not fair for all the people working.
The FAA hoping today's 4% cut in flights will ease the burden on air traffic controllers who are still working without pay 38 days into the government shutdown.
No one can sustain that type of financial insecurity for this long. People are taking second jobs and then they're resigning as well.
If the shutdown drags on, the agency planning to ramp up mandated flight reductions to 6% Tuesday and 10% by next Friday, saying safety is their main concern.
This was a data-driven decision to make the right calls, to get ahead of any issues that could happen, in the airspace that could have negative consequences.
Some airlines are offering refunds or waivers for passengers to rebook, saying they're working to notify those who are on impacted flights as quickly as possible.
As soon as a cancellation gets put in, we broadcast that to the people that are on the flight. If you are on a canceled flight, our systems automatically rebook you to the next available flight.
Both the FAA and the airline say passengers should still feel confident getting on a plane.
Flying is 100% safe. It absolutely is. We slow things down to ensure that safety.
With the Thanksgiving travel rush fast approaching, the timing couldn't be worse.
That's going to really cause a lot of hang-ups and a lot of missed flights.
And again, that was Maggie Vespa reporting. We now want to turn our attention to your weather forecast, where today it's going to be another warm day in eastern North Carolina, a little bit warmer than where we were yesterday. Average this time of year is right around the mid to upper 60s. Between around 66 to 69 degrees is where most of eastern North Carolina should be in the afternoons this time of year. But coming up all over the next 3 days, including today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be above our seasonal average. Over the following 3 days, we'll be, in some instances, significantly below our seasonal average. And do want to highlight the First Alert Weather Day because of the big drop in air temperatures we are expecting to see coming in next week, particularly Monday night into early Tuesday morning. We're looking at air temperatures that are going to be down between 29 to 33 degrees across most of eastern North Carolina. Now, if you're watching along the coast and closer to the water, you may end up staying around 33 to around 36, 37 degrees. The Outer Banks, most likely upper 30s. But regardless, it is going to be frigid, and even if you don't get a freeze, you will likely get a frost. So if you've got any exposed pipes at your house, if you've got, cold sensitive plants, make sure you take care of those items. Of course, pets that stay outside, make sure that either they have what they need to stay warm during this cold snap coming up next week, or make sure you can bring them inside where they can again sleep comfortably. This will last until Tuesday morning. Here is again a look at the big blast. It's going to be coming down out of Canada. Now, normally, if we were to see this in, December or January or even February and had even just a hint of moisture, we would be talking about snow. But this early in the season, our ground temperature is far too warm, and also there's not really any moisture that's going to be trailing this system to potentially give us maybe a sight of a flake or two. But I just want to put it into perspective of just how cold this air mass is truly going to be. It is going to, again, take some people by surprise. Hopefully, you aren't one of those people, because obviously you're getting the details early. Now, we will gradually warm up through next week, but likely staying at or below our seasonal norm through the entirety of the work week next week. Right now, out your door, air temperatures are climbing and doing so quickly into the mid to upper 50s right now. Hatteras enjoying 63 degrees, but on the flip side of the coin, Roanoke Rapids 46 degrees. So a little bit cooler as you get closer to the Virginia line. But the winds right now generally east to southeasterly, and that southerly component to the winds is going to do a great job of boosting our air temperatures into the mid-70s coming up this afternoon. If you're a fan of the warmer weather, you're going to love what we've got coming up over the next few days. Saturday, more of a westerly wind coming in, and then winds will go light to calm Saturday evening. Weak cold front will roll through on Saturday. But then Sunday, air temperatures really climb. We could get close to 80 degrees coming up on Sunday. But for today, low 70s planned for this afternoon. We may get to around 72, 73 degrees. I don't think we'll get to the mid-70s, but maybe Jacksonville, Kenansville, and possibly Kinston have that opportunity. Cloud cover rolls in later on this evening. It won't stick around forever. It's going to be a quick kind of brief shot of maybe a few clouds and perhaps maybe a few stray raindrops, but certainly nothing that is really going to foul up too many plans. As far as tomorrow morning goes, starting out the day in the mid to upper 50s. From there, we warm up into the low 70s before we even get to noon. I know there's going to be quite a few pirates out there who are going to be doing some tailgating. Tailgating temps looking spectacular. But note again, winds. Winds are also going to be cooperating with tailgaters. Not seeing a strong breeze, looking at about maybe a 3 to 8 mile per hour breeze across the area, and that's going to be good for anybody who's doing tailgating. You've got the awnings out there, some tents set up. Those, again, shouldn't be affected too much by the tiny little breeze that we are going to be seeing. Later on in the evening, though, air temperatures will be falling into the mid-60s as we head towards 8 to 9 p.m., low 60s by 11 and midnight. Let's check in on your full 8-day forecast, and you'll note, again, the big temperature drop. 79 degrees on Sunday, drops to 56 on Monday. It's not even that. We are going to be at 49 by Tuesday. Overnight lows, again, Monday night into Tuesday, below freezing. Right now, we've got them set at 30 degrees. A freeze is possible. A frost is likely. And then as we get past Tuesday, we will be warming up, getting into the low 60s Wednesday and Thursday, but likely staying shy of the mid 60s even as we approach Friday with mostly sunny skies. That's all we have time for today's 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic Friday. We'll see you back here in just a little bit.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.